Good evening. Welcome to the 2020 St. Paul Regional High School Athletic Award Ceremony. My name is Hank Smith, and I'll be your host this evening. I encourage you to sit back and relax as we recognize the accomplishments of our athletic program and honor our athletes, teams, coaches for what they've accomplished this past year in sport. I'd like to thank you for joining us for our 20th Annual Athletic Awards. I would now like to introduce our principal, Mr. Mark Duskowski, to share a few words with you this evening.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It takes a lot of work to move in the direction of being successful. It takes great parents, volunteers, coaches, teachers, referees, doctors, community members, bus drivers, and of course, the athletes with a championship vision. From the administrative side, I want to personally thank all the coaches for doing another great job this year. It's because of your dedication and commitment to regional high school sports, we have so many success stories of the Saints and the Lions. For many of us, it is a passion to coach, a passion to be successful, and a passion to see kids grow and develop into great players. Again, it is for the reason of great coaches and great athletes that St. Paul Regional High School is recognized as a provincial contender in multiple sports in Alberta. I do feel for those athletes who didn't get to finish off the basketball season. I do feel for those athletes who did not get to participate in badminton or track and field in 2020. I don't know what next year's sports looks like, but I hope we will get back to some sort of normalcy. I understand that this has been unfair to many of you and that you are not able to pursue your goals. But keep your heads high, stay positive, be kind to one another, and hopefully one day we will get back to what we used to call normal. To the athletes who were allowed to compete this year, well done. To the athletes returning to regional, or if you're going on to post-secondary athletics, if you want to stay at the top of your game, that might mean that you have to put in the extra effort. That might be going to camps, weight training, training during the summer, signing up for speed and strength conditioning. It's all the little things that you may have to put effort into to stay at the top. Great accomplishments this year, Saints and Lions, and thank you.
Thanks, Mark, for sharing those words with us tonight. This is a great segue to recognize and acknowledge the support we have in athletics from our administration. They not only support and believe in the importance of a strong athletic program, each administrator is actively involved as a head coach of at least one sport in our school. Thank you for making the time to do this for our school and for our students. When we look back at this past year, so much has happened. Do you remember the wildfires in Australia, or the Ukrainian airliner being shot down in Iran, or the canceling of the Tokyo Olympics, or even the death of Kobe Bryant? It seems so long ago as we've been glued to the latest AHS press releases and the introduction and now the removal of measures that have affected our province and our world. We are living in unprecedented times, and we are learning each day how to behave and respond to this new normal. I personally would want the old normal back, but then again, do I? I personally believe that each of us during these past 3 months have had the opportunity to reflect on how life is during the pandemic and how life was prior to COVID-19. We went from going 100 kilometers an hour and some 200 to a dead stop. That was hard to take and adjust to at first, but in some respects, I appreciated the slower lifestyle. I believe the slowdown will cause many to change the way we do life. One of the outcomes of this pandemic will be to appreciate and not take for granted all that seemed to be the norm prior to the pandemic. We experience this with our own families by spending time together instead of high-fiving each other or patting each other on the head as we passed by in our homes as we went from A to B and C to D in the business of life. We might see people decide that the former lifestyle was too much and too crazy. Time will tell. Something I have reflected on was how we might learn to appreciate those who maybe we've taken for granted in the past. As a coach, I know I miss my athletes and will work hard to appreciate them more with what they bring to the table in the future. There might be some athletes or parents who might appreciate their coach or their child's coach more than they would have ever thought of after missing a season or not completing a season. This is a time in our lives where we should reflect on what is truly important and better ourselves. I am planning and hoping we'll be able to offer some sporting opportunities in this coming up year and in the fall. No one knows at this point what September will look like. Let's hope for the best and adjust to the rest. This year, as a coaching staff, we've decided that it would be very difficult to award the female and male athlete of the year without completing all the sports that we participate in. There are a couple of reasons, including that some students didn't get the opportunity to compete in sports that they normally would have. That there are a couple of students in both categories where the point totals are very close, and without having the students' ability to play badminton, run the RCP road race, and compete in track and field, our point totals would be incomplete, and inaccurate. I hope you appreciate this difficult decision we made. We had another amazing year in athletics. If it was not for the pause button being pressed on March 15, we may have had the best ever. This past year, we had 2 team provincial second place finishes, Tier 4 football and boys curling. 2 third place provincial finishes, boys golf and girls curling, and a 4th place finish in cross country. Every team we had attended the ASA High School Provincial Championships and represented our school on the provincial stage. We believe we had great opportunity in basketball to do the same, and we had high hopes with our badminton and track and field teams as well. This past year, we also hosted the 3A Girls Volleyball Championship in November. We did another outstanding job hosting in our girls volleyball program. Through this process, learned what it will take to compete at the provincial level in the future. Many of you are aware that we are in a 3A category. That means we compete against schools that are 300 to 799 students from grades 10 to 12. We are definitely on the low end of the scale with 325 students. Many of the schools that we compete against in these zone championships and provincial championships are at the higher scale of 600 to 700 students or more. I'd like to congratulate all of our student athletes and coaches for all that they've achieved this past year. I'd like to thank you all for the time, energy, and dedication that you've put into your sport, their team, and to our athletic program. We're proud of you. Well done. I would like to thank all the parents and family members, friends, teachers, staff, officials who helped support our athletes and coaches achieve or attempt to achieve their goals this past year. Thank you. I'd like to thank the family members of our coaches who understand the importance of our athletic program and the difference it makes in our students' lives. We appreciate the support you give them. I'd also like to thank my own family who supported me with the time and energy that is needed to oversee our Saints athletic program. I'd also like to thank Mr. Beaulieu, Mr. James Robinson, Mr. Darren Gates, Mr. Roddy Bear, Mr. Joel Michaud, and Mr. Alex Bernay for driving our buses this year for our teams as we've been transported throughout the province. Thank you for keeping us safe. I'd also like to thank all the people who helped with the planning and the organization of this evening and our athletic program. Special recognition needs to go to the following people. This is Jennifer Dunlop for recording the messages and producing the video for tonight. I'd also like to recognize a few ladies who helped me with our athletic program. This is Mary Tratch for writing hundreds of checks that I request each year. This is Erin Hagan for creating amazing documents for me. Both these ladies, along with Rebecca Blackburn, are our first line of contact with the public, and they make us look good at times when that may not necessarily be the case. I'd also like to thank Jordan Latosky for creating the sport collages that everyone appreciates in the hallway outside the gym. Thank you again for all your time and effort and support over this past year. I hope you enjoy the evening. Go Saints, go.
The 2019-2020 golf team had an exceptional year. Both the boys and girls team won the zone, played in St. Paul, and after winning the zone went on to Red Deer to play at Provincials. At Provincials, both teams played exceptional well, with the boys finishing third in the province and the girls finishing fifth. This year's MVP, after finishing eighth in the province and having an outstanding 3-year career on the golf team, for the girls is Sophie Pisitny. The boys MVP, after finishing fifth in the province and having an exceptional grade 10 year, is Colin Pisitny. Thank you.
Thank you, Corey. I'd now like to invite Mr. Tim Penner to come up to help in the presentation of the Cross Country Awards.
I want to start by saying I really enjoyed this year's cross-country running season. I want to thank all the athletes, the parents that supported them, and the bus drivers that got us where we needed to be. This is a very successful season. We won both the boys and girls spa banner at Ross Lake. We brought a large team and had some amazing results, including 6 first-place finishes, 5 second-place finishes, and 5 third-place finishes. This is an amazing accomplishment considering that there's only 7 races. 2 weeks later, we went back to Ross Lake, and this time the weather was not as nice. But that's what you deal with in this sport. Our athletes competed well and posted many improved times. I'm really proud of our runners. We have a large number of athletes, and they worked really hard this year. I also appreciate the competition among teammates as they push each other to be better. With such a large team, we were able to outscore our competition by a large manner and won the zone banner again. The Provincial Championship was hosted in Medicine Hat. We brought a strong team of 19 runners and finished 4th in the province among 3A schools. This was a long bus ride through some desolate areas, but our athletes are great people and made for an amazing trip. The weather was great, but as we walked the course, some runners were having second thoughts. This course included a hill that continued to rise for half a kilometer, and that was only the first hill. But through it all, the runners gave it everything they had. Thanks for a great year, and I look forward to when we can do this again. Now we have some awards.
All right, the awards for cross country. MVP female award goes to a naturally talented runner. She's competitive. She saw the potential of her team and communicated those feelings publicly to the team. Our top finisher at SPA, zones, and provincials, Denver Grady. Male MVP, this award goes to a hard worker, someone who's internally motivated, a powerful runner, and a 3-time cross-country MVP, Dustin Dobril. This year we're handing out the Outstanding Performance Award. This award goes to a grade 10 runner in the para category. He came first at SPA, first at zones, and third at provincials. This award goes to Sean License. Thank you. At this time, I'm going to ask Mr. Brandon Strucky to come on up and present the Volleyball Awards for boys.
Hi everyone. This year's volleyball season marked what would be probably one of the most successful men's volleyball seasons we've ever had. We had top finishes at tournaments, including first place at the Taz home tournament and the Stony Plain Memorial Composite tournament. We also won our 6th SPA championship in a row. And at zones, we went undefeated going into the final, where we played Ecole McTavish from Fort McMurray in 2 very intense volleyball matches that finished 25-23 in dramatic fashion. With that win, this group of athletes continued to add to the zone streak, and for the first time in regional history, have won 5 consecutive zone championship banners. A feat that in all of our school history has never been accomplished. They become only the 3rd group of grade 12s that have advanced to provincials in all 3 years. We're at provincials. We went to tight 3rd sets in 5 matches, knocking off heavily favored Morinville and Cardston. Before I go any further, I want to thank my coaching staff this year, Mr. Newby, Christian Laramie, and Elizabeth Grant, that helped me out. It was super important for me to have many hands and minds helping me through the season, and it especially helped running effective practices. There's no way this team accomplishes what we did without you. To our amazing parents who supported our players and our coaching staff throughout the season, traveling to many tournaments, again, we couldn't be as successful on the court as we are without your help off of it. To Mr. Smith and our admin team, thank you for your support and all that you do for us. And finally, to the team, and especially the grade 12s. I want you to take a minute and reflect on all that you've accomplished in your 3 years at regional high school. Our grade 12s have done a lot for our school. They've competed and established themselves weekend after weekend, often on the 3A and 4A stages. They've won Tasmania. They've extended the SPA streak to 6. They've continued the tradition that's been started ahead of them and are the 3rd group of men volleyball players to have graduated regional that can say that they went to provincials all 3 years. Congratulations. Our first award tonight goes to Rookie of the Year. This player we saw from the first tournament had huge potential. This player took on a lot of responsibility for a grade 10, and we asked him to do a little bit of everything. At first, it was just to set, and then we asked him to contribute offensively and hit, and by the end, we needed him to be a defensive blocker. He not only accepted these roles and responsibilities, but sought to constantly improve and be the best at them. I look forward to the growth in this player and the skills and leadership over the next 2 years. This year's Rookie of the Year, Colin Pisitny. MVP. This team was built around individual players contributing to the group effort, but fulfilling the roles that they were expected. A successful team simply cannot be based around anything else. It is imperative that this happens for any team to achieve their goals. However, this year's men's volleyball team had the very definition of a team player. A go-to player, a leader, an MVP. I'm so excited to see what the future holds for this player in their journey through university and beyond in their career and adult life. This year's MVP, Dustin DeBro. Thank you.
Thank you, Brandon. I'd now like to ask Jeff Bishop and Tanya Bear to come up with me to present the awards for the senior girls volleyball. This past season, we competed in 6 tournaments and the SPA League. This year, we wanted to see how good we were by competing against the strongest teams in the tournaments that we attended. We used this as a litmus test in preparation for hosting the 3A Girls Provincial Championships. We felt we were a strong team, and we had some memorable wins against some strong opponents and many great memories during an exciting season. We won our home tournament We had a strong appearance in the Sure Park tournament and Camrose and came third at Memorial. We ended up the season with a record of 31 wins and 16 losses. At Provincials, we ended up losing in the second tiebreaker to advance to the playoffs. Our team fought hard in both tiebreakers and gave their all. We also saw that we needed to improve our game to compete at the next level.
Hosting Provincials is always an honor and a lot of work, but we wanted to thank everyone who helped us host the 2019 Provincial Championship. We could not have done it without our sponsors, our volunteers, our parents, as well as our team. With SPA, we finished the season with a 14-1 record and won the SPA Championship at home. We had another large number of girls play on this team, including athletes from grades 10 to 12. We traveled with less players to games as compared to the past and forced the team to work together and improve as we faced our league opponents.
I would like to thank all our players and parents for an enjoyable season. I'd also like to thank Jeff Bishop and Tanya Bear for helping coach the team at practices, games, and tournaments. We look forward to what our talented group of players can accomplish next year.
And now we'll present our awards for Senior Girls Volleyball. The first award is Rookie of the Year. This designation is given to a student athlete who had an outstanding first year on the team. And this year we have two recipients. They are Jessie Couric and Alexis Ouellette. Next is the Most Improved Player. This young lady owned her role and thrived in it. She made a huge step forward from her grade 10 to grade 11 season, and this award goes to Trista St. Arno. Next, we have Impact Athlete Award. This award is given to an athlete who always had an impact on the game for our team. This award goes to Sarah Mistel and Samantha Silva. Next, we have our Leadership Award. This award goes to the consummate team player. They not only contributed on the court with their skill, they also contributed off the court with their poise and character. This award goes to Sarah Silva and Georgie Gates. And the Most Valuable Player, our MVP. This award goes to a player who always rose to the occasion and gave her all. This athlete caused our opponents nightmares with her offensive prowess, her defensive skill, and her passing. This award goes to Taylor Hebert.
Good evening. I want to congratulate the Lions and the coaching staff on their accomplishments of being provincial silver medalists for the second year in a row. Well done. Well, the Lions didn't win a provincial gold medal this year, but we did have one heck of a season, and we only blame ourselves in the final outcome. We started spring camp with a great attitude, and that stuck around for the entire season. When we started the regular season, to be honest, I knew we were in tough, because the Wheatland is an extremely difficult league across Alberta. Well, we did a little better than expected. We went on to provincials and beat Sexsmith in the quarterfinals on a true freezing cold Canadian playoff day. We then faced the Ardrossan Bison for the Northern Provincial Championship. We knew we were in tough. Well, that was one of the best games to watch as fans, but not as a coach, because it came down to the last play of the game. What kept flashing in the back of my mind was St. Albert lost in the last play of the game against the Bison. Stettler lost in the last play of the provincial quarterfinals against the Bison. Is this the end for the Lions? Nope. The Bison QB overthrew his team Alberta number 11 receiver, and the Lions win. We then went to the Alberta Bowl in Raymond. We, the Lions, didn't really show up that day. If we could have scored a couple in the first half, I believe that may have been a different game altogether. That in itself is a great accomplishment. Well done, boys. One of the great football coach is Bear Bryant from the University of Alabama said, "Losing doesn't make me want to quit. It makes me want to fight that much harder." Well, boys, we have a great task ahead of us next year, which could be in the fall or spring. How hard do you want to fight? One saying we have up in the locker room, and it's so true, it states, bad players don't take much seriously. Average players take games seriously. But great players take academics, nutrition, warm-up, weight room, conditioning, film, practice, and games seriously. If you want to be a starter, you need to be a great player. To the vets, thank you for your time and dedication and leadership. Your leadership speaks volumes for what is to come of these young men over the next few years. Now to the awards. For the Leadership Award goes to Adam Berlinget. Best Defensive Lineman, Brady Fodness, who signed with the Calgary Colts this month. Best Offensive Lineman, Kissay White, who signed with the Edmonton Huskies, and Dawson Polakowski. Most Improved Player, Paulson Wells. Rookie of the Year, Tyler Foote. Top Defensive Player, Lane Peters. Top Offensive Player, Ty Samaraka. Hart, Kyler Tichkowski, who signed with Valley City State University in North Dakota. And our MVP for this year, Braden Pazook. Thank you.
Would now like to ask Mrs. Sasha Levasseur to come forward to present the JV Girls Basketball Awards.
I had the pleasure once again this year of coaching the Small Girls Basketball team. We had a great group of girls who were extremely committed and truly made this season for me. Along with all the laughs and camaraderie we shared throughout. I want to thank Kathleen Gerlinski, Courtney Chopek, and Devin DeBelt for assisting on the coaching side of things, as well as Mr. Hank Smith with all the administration of our team. Our first award of the year is the Hart Award. This recipient is a grade 12 student who decided that this was the year she was going to take up basketball. Once she purchased her fancy new basketball runners, she never looked back. She set the bar this year in regards to commitment, never missing practices and always in the gym, shooting baskets every chance she got. All in all, an absolute joy to coach, and I only wish I would have had the pleasure of coaching her for 3 years instead of 1. This year's Hart Award recipient is Sydney Leroux. Congratulations, Sydney. Our next award is Rookie of the Year. This award goes to a girl who always left everything she had as a player on the court, each and every game. She took charge as a point guard and always looked for opportunities to make things happen for her teammates. Her grit and determination on the court every single game never went unnoticed. This year's Rookie of the Year award goes to Jordan Perperny. Congratulations, Jordan. Our last award is our MVP award. This young lady also gave it everything she had each and every time she was on the court. Beautiful ball handling skills, speed down the court, tremendous determination to put the ball in the net was such a valuable combination to our team. On a personal note, I loved coaching this young lady. I love so many of her characteristics on and off the court. I will truly miss her and thank her for her awesome contributions to the team. This year's Most Valuable Player award goes to Sophie Pasitny. Congratulations, Sophie, and thanks again to all the girls, small girls, who made this season so much fun for all of us. Thank you.
Thank you, Sasha. I'd now like to call on Tyson Newby to present the JV Boys Basketball Awards.
Hello everybody.
I am a first year rookie coach, so these are my first awards, so I hope I do pretty good. A little bit about our team this year. The SPA's boy basketball team consisted of 13 boys of grade 10 and 11. They competed against their peers all around our area. A lot of the teams had grade 10, 11, and 12, so we had our work cut out for us. I gave the boys 3 things when we started our year. First thing was that we were going to be better basketball players. We were going to hone our skills to get better shooting, passing, dribbling. The second thing that I told the boys is I wanted to be better off the basketball court, whether it be in school, with friends, life choices. And the third thing was to have fun, to build camaraderie and make friends and lasting memories. I believe that we have all accomplished that this year, whether it be maybe getting a little bit better at shooting, dribbling, maybe bringing our grades up a little bit, or just building those lasting memories. This year we have 3 awards. The first award that I'm going to hand out is the Rookie of the Year. This student came in grade 10, played on both the Lakeland and the SPA team, was up to the challenge, never missed one of my practices, and he was always there on the court helping out other grade 10s and setting a good example. So this year's recipient for Rookie of the Year is Dax Johnson. Next is the Sportsmanship Award. This player was amazing on the court, working with other players from other teams. He was also an excellent role model off the court, was always there to lend a hand and help, whether it's setting up with the gym or scorekeeping at tournaments for other teams. This year's recipient for sportsmanship is John Francis Spaghetti. And the last one is our MVP, so the most valuable player. Now this player, every time he stepped on the court, he established his place. He was invaluable to the team, whether it be scoring baskets, defense, lifting players up, giving advice to young players, and also, once again, showing that off the court he can be a really great human being, always helping, whether it be with basketball or any other sports in school. So this year's MVP is Evan Gamache. Thank you.
I'd now like to call on Mr. George Silva to present the Senior Girl Basketball Awards.
Good evening, everyone. Before I start, I would like to thank a couple of people. Our bus drivers are very important to the success of any school program and sports team. Mr. Smith, Mr. Bulio, Mr. Robinson, Mr. Gates, and Mr. Newby all coach other sports and have busy lives. But when basketball season comes around, they step up to the plate and make sure your kids make it to tournaments and back home safely. So on behalf of all coaches, students, and parents, we would like to thank you for keeping us safe. To our parents, thank you, thank you. You parents have been so amazing. You took hold of our fundraisers, coaches' rooms, and got it done. Mr. Strachey and I never had to worry about how things were going, as we knew you ladies had it all under control. Family, strong alone, unstoppable together, was the motto we had adopted this year. This motto of coming together, hard work, led this team to having a record of 18-6. Traveling to Olds, Ardrossan, and Stettler, teams learned quickly that St. Paul Regional was not a team they could push around. After losing our first 2 meetings against Jaws by 3, each time the Lady Saints said enough was enough and beat Jaws 71-38 in their 3rd meeting. This led the Lady Saints to being ranked number 2 in the zone and getting some attention from around the province as they had taken their game to the next level. Lakeland final saw the Regional Saints on the road at Jaws, and after the first quarter, the team was up 19-7 and never looked back and took home the title of Lakeland Senior Girl Champions. Shortly after, the ladies were recognized by the Provincial Ranking Committee as one of the top 15 girls basketball teams in the province. So proud of all of you and what you were able to accomplish. Our Rookie of the Year is an outstanding basketball player. She's in grade 10. She learned quickly that high school basketball is very different from junior high. Taking on the challenge of a point guard and playing some important minutes for us. She was a key piece to our team. This year's Rookie of the Year is Jessie Kirk. This year, I'm giving out a leadership award. It's going out to a player who I thought was a leader on and off the court. It was like having another coach. Her ability to see what needs to be done and got it done. A great player, she will be missed next year. This year's winner, Alyssa Atkins. The winners of our Most Outstanding Player Award brought a lot to the table. This year, these ladies caused opposing coaches some sleepless nights, trying to figure out ways to stop these girls. These girls played through injury and brought it every game. I know these girls would be the first to say that basketball is a team sport and not want the spotlight, but that's what makes them special. This year's winners are Georgia Gates, Sarah Silva, and Samantha Silva. Next year, we're going to have to work hard, but we have some great returning players. The Lady Saints program is in great shape and ready to compete. With a new crop of grade 10s, the future looks bright. I wish you a great and safe summer. Go Saints, go.
Good evening, everyone. This was a very difficult presentation to create, considering the way our season ended. So I guess we will start with just a quick recap on our season. We started the first tournament, our home tournament, with a 3rd place finish. We would go to Olds and Ardrossan and finish as consolation champions, where we lose to the 6th ranked team in the province, Cochrane High School. We got the opportunity to compete against 7th ranked in the province, Morinville, in Stettler, where we finished 2nd. And beyond the tournament finishes, more importantly, this group of guys started to create a positive winning culture and have set the stage for future years of success. Although our season ended in heartbreak, uncertainty, and tears, a way no one expected, these guys gave everything every night and should be so proud of what they accomplished and the level at which they reached. Even though we ended the season without a final test, these guys have put in and given everything. They should know that they were well prepared and ready for what the final test would have brought. I'd like to thank Coach Tim Penner for support and guidance throughout the year. I couldn't do what I do without you. Picking a Rookie of the Year is impossible when you have 3 starters every night. This year we had 3 grade 10s that were asked to play a ton of minutes and contribute both offensively and defensively. These athletes were mature enough to handle the jump to high school basketball and the expectations that come with it. Our most outstanding rookies are Colin Pisitny, Ted Dorsius, and Lucas DeBelt. MVP. This year's MVP has been an impact player his entire career. Since grade 10, we knew he'd be very special. Not only is he extremely gifted with skill and physical ability, his ability to think the game and play it the right way is just as impressive. Throughout his career, he's been asked to be a big-time player in big-time moments, never afraid of the challenges and adversities, and always willing to step up. Between buzzer beaters, 40-plus point performances, and taking on the tough defensive assignments, this player has done everything. When you invest little, losing doesn't hurt, and winning doesn't feel as good. For this player, losing the end to our season, I know, hurts him a lot. He's invested everything he's had. I'm super proud to award the MVP to Dustin DeBro. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. Our 2019-20 curling season was by far our most successful season yet. All 3 of our curling teams came out very strong this year, as we had a lot of returning players that brought a strong skill set and an understanding of the game that comes from years of experience. I would like to start off by thanking our community coaches, as we're very fortunate to have Andrea Austin coaching our ladies team, Joelle Michaud coaching our men's team, and Jerry Jean coaching our mixed team. Our team's successes started when the men's, ladies, and mixed team all won gold at the SPA Championship in St. Paul. They then moved to make history when all 3 teams won gold at the Northeastern Zone Championship in Vegreville at the end of February. What a proud moment to see all 3 green zone banners hanging amongst our hard-working athletes. Our ASAA Provincial Championship was held from March 5th to the 7th in Lethbridge, Alberta. Bringing 3 qualifying teams to provincials is an accomplishment that many schools strive to achieve, but rarely do. We knew this was our year to compete, and all 3 teams came out really strong. After playing the top 10 teams in each division, we had some amazing results. Our mixed team narrowly lost their last 2 games, coming down to the last shot in both, and unfortunately did not make the playoffs. Both our ladies and men's team placed first in their pool, which sent them on to the semifinals and then the medal matches. After some exciting games, our ladies took bronze and our men's took silver at the Provincial Championships. Before handing out our awards, I'd like to pass on one message to our curling team. I am so very proud of how hard you all worked to achieve this success. This was by far the most exciting year yet, and I am so thankful that we were able to start and finish our season together. You did what you needed to do, and you represented your school and community well. To quote Coach Joelle Michaud, I always taught them to be patient and to take it one game at a time and show them that we're here for a reason. Yes, we lost the last game, but in my mind, we won with the biggest heart in the game. This year, we will be awarding one MVP award to each curling team and an additional award for the Most Improved and Sportsmanship Award. Our mixed team was composed of Georgia Danenko, Logan Grado, Emma Jean, and Dylan Jean. The award for Most Valuable Player for the mixed curling is Logan Grado. Congratulations, Logan. Our men's team was composed of Blake Gretel, Jill Michaud, Kieran Katowich, Josh Foote, and Justin St. Arnold. The award for the most valuable player for men's curling is Blake Gretel. Congratulations. Our ladies team was composed of Cameron Kuzma, Brooke Katowich, Grace Fontaine, Trista St. Arnold, and Natalia Lajme. The award for most valuable player for the ladies curling is Cameron Kuzma. Well done. The next award recognizes the player who has committed the time this year to improve as a curler, not only in skill, but also in the understanding of gameplay. I would like to present the Most Improved Player Award to Justin St. Arnold. Well done. This last award was difficult to choose, as the coaches had a couple of students who truly represented our school and the sport of curling throughout competition and during practice. The recipient of this award always recognizes how to treat opponents with respect while still being competitive on the ice. This year, we have chosen to award 2 Sportsmanship Awards. One to Cameron Kuzma and the other to Grace Fontaine. Great job, girls. Thank you.
Hello, it's me, Mr. Bolio, and I'm here to present the Badminton Awards. So, see ya. Just kidding. I wouldn't be that quick. But of course, we didn't have a season this year. We were just about to get started with practices when COVID hit. And so we were all disappointed not to be able to practice and go to provincials and have a lot of fun. So a couple of things that we certainly miss as a coach, and I'm sure all you students, were our daily practices. Every day in here with 30 or 40 other kids, practicing different techniques and skills, and having a lot of fun playing games after a little bit of skill practice. I know Demosac and I are we did really miss all the cokes we would have won from you by beating every last one of you in our games. And so I didn't have the usual amount of sugar that I do during badminton season. The other thing we miss is just all of you kids being in the gym, being happy, all the noise and laughter that we hear when we're practicing and playing in our spa and zone and provincials. It's just, a great feeling to be around all the happy people doing so well. So we really miss that. And of course, we did miss going to provincials this year. And that's where I eat my pies, and me and Demo finish off a bag of jujubes. And so that's a great thing to miss. There's also some things that I don't miss, right? So daily practice, coming to school every day after school during half of March and all of April. We don't miss that. That's a big commitment for us all. I don't miss putting up with the whiners, Gagnes. I don't miss you cheaters when you play Demosac and I during practice, Brooke and Chelsea. And I don't miss having to coach and cheer for and against our Saints when they meet in the finals during spa and zones. And so I had to do that a couple of times. I remember Sarah and Taylor going at it, and I couldn't make up my mind who to cheer for and who to coach for and against. So that was a tough one. I don't miss stuff like that. So to all you grade 10s and 11s, next year will be our best year ever. So get keyed up for that. We're not going to miss badminton 2 years in a row, that's for sure. So I know usually after me comes track and field, and of course that always reminds me one time when I was in the Olympics and I was getting ready for an event, and I heard somebody from the stands shout out, "Hey, are you a pole vaulter?" And the guy crossing the field looked up at him and says, "No, but how'd you know my name was Walter?" Have a good summer.
All right, so we're going to invite Mr. Brandon Chalker to come on up, and we're going to present the information regarding track and field. So obviously this was a season that we were all looking forward to, hopefully being in a situation where we may have defended a provincial championship, and obviously that didn't come to fruition. If you were to have asked me in March if I thought this would have happened this way, you probably would have got an answer saying no. I thought if there was one sport that we may have been able to have a chance to complete, it would have been track and field, but unfortunately that wasn't the case. And you and us, we feel that loss.
Yeah, I think I just want to recognize all of our athletes, and especially our grade 12 athletes that lost their track and field season. We know that for many of you, this is the end sport for your high school athletics career. And with the situation that we found ourselves in, you don't get that end. And we sympathize and we support with you in this unforeseen times. It's unfortunate, and we just want you to know that we're thinking of you. And it's unfortunate we weren't able to defend our title, but we look forward to seeing you all in the future.
Hi everyone, I'm Dustin Abril. I'm honored to be able to do the thank you to the coaches this year on behalf of all St. Paul Regional High School athletes. Coaches are responsible for training athletes and helping them develop, but more importantly, coaches help athletes grow as people. I personally learned so much from coaches, but some things still don't make sense. Like if practice makes perfect and no one's perfect, why practice? That's not the only thing that puzzled me. Like I've been running as fast as I can, but I still can't catch my breath. So I'm still trying to figure things out. Like, isn't volleyball just a really intense version of don't let the balloon touch the floor? And isn't refusing to go to the gym resistance training? And last but not least, if you shot 60% from the field and 40% from the free throw line, does that mean you shot 100%? But in all seriousness, as athletes, we thank you coaches. Your hard work and dedication was inspiring. The lessons you taught are going to shape us for the better. Attributes like commitment, patience, sportsmanship, persistence, and on are all things you promoted in us. When I say thank you, it is not just for today or the past year, but it's for the long-lasting impact you're going to have. You have always seen not what we are, but what we could be. You have instilled a part of your heart in ours, and as we travel on in life, we will always cherish the warm memories we had together. A mere thanks is a small gesture compared to the gratitude we athletes feel. As coaches, you did many things worthy of thanks. From the time and effort to compassion and encouragement, you gave a lot for the development of us athletes. So for one last time, thank you coaches.
Hi everyone, I just want to start off by saying that I hope you all are doing well. So during my time at Regional, I was lucky to have many teachers and coaches that wholeheartedly supported many other student athletes along with myself. Since many of our sports seasons never had the chance to be experienced this year, I don't want us to forget those athletes and coaches whose seasons had been cut short. Many of these coaches also teach here at the school, and I believe that it is only right to give them the thanks that they deserve for dedicating so much of their time to us athletes. Whether it be morning or after school practices, games, and tournaments, our coaches never fail to show and give it their all every time. Our coaches and teachers have so many life lessons to teach us. Not only do they teach us about our sport, they show us leadership, teamwork, accountability, and punctuality. These lessons stay with us for life, which is something to be so grateful for. As a grade 12, I, along with many of the athletes, were disappointed to hear that our seasons have been cut short. But on behalf of those athletes, I would like to thank the teachers and coaches for being a shoulder for us to lean on throughout this difficult time. Along with the teachers that worked hard and gave up their free time to work with us students during the week in order for us to achieve success. With that being said, I will have many memories that I will cherish forever. such as the dance parties for consequences when the team lost at a drill, the dress-up practices, the bets and 3-year plans we made with the coaches. I will also never forget our accomplishments, whether those are winning at spa, zones, or Lakeland, along with competing at provincials. So thank you for always checking up on us athletes, even if it was just a simple hello in the hallway, or Smith asking us if we are having fun yet every practice, if not multiple times a practice, or even if it was Bishop roasting us during volleyball practice just to see a smile on our face. Thank you for believing in us, even when sometimes we definitely didn't believe in ourselves. I'm sure there were so many times that we wanted to quit and give up, but you didn't let us. Your encouragement and support means so much to us athletes than I think we give you credit for. So on behalf of the student athletes, thank you for the simple hellos in the hallways, the "Are we having fun yet?" and the roasts that never fail to put a smile on our faces. Thank you for the silly dress-up practices and the dance parties when the team loses in a drill. Thank you for the bets and the 3-year plans. Thank you to both the teachers and coaches for showing us what it means to be a student athlete and allowing for us to go and play the sports we love. But most importantly, thank you for your dedication to us athletes and for never losing your faith in us, even if we had none in ourselves. Your time and commitment towards us will not go forgotten. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Sarah Silva. I will be thanking all of the parents on behalf of all the athletes at St. Paul Regional. First, I would like to begin by thanking you all for joining us tonight. I know this is a strange time for all of us, so thank you for taking the time to join us. Now let's begin. Parents, thank you for the long hours you spend sitting in the bleachers, watching our games and practices. The many miles you put in the car as you travel to games and tournaments. All the volunteering you do throughout our season, for example, coaches' corners, cleanups, and fundraisers. Thank you for the support you show the entire team, not just your own child. Being brave in the face of injury and setbacks. We thank you for being there for your athlete, especially after a bad loss. With a bad loss, you taught us there is more to life than sports, statistics, wins, and losses. Through sports, you are providing your children with incredible life lessons that will serve them for the rest of their lives. Win or lose, we are building character and making memories directly because of your support and efforts. I hope you all have a great summer, stay safe, and have a good night.
It's now time for St. Paul Regional High School to give back to our grade 12 athletes who participated in 2 more sports over the past 3 years in high school. Many of these students have given up other opportunities to be a part of our athletic program. These students have put in countless hours of training, games, and tournaments over the 3 years of high school. We'd like to honor and thank the following athletes: Sarah Silva, Georgia Gates, Georgia Danenko, Cameron Kuzma, Brooke Katawich, Sophie Basitny, Anna Fauché, Katie Krawchuk, Keely Dell, Amelia Bovaert, and on the male side, Dustin DeBrill, Josh Foote, Tristan Massey, Kyler Tuskowski, Blake Breton, Drayden Mahenga, Braden Pazook, Kisei White, and David Compo. At the farewell on June 27th, we will present you with the chairs that we regularly do to our grade 12s for recognizing them for the sports that they competed. Thank you, and good night. All right, well that concludes our evening tonight. Just a couple reminders. For the grade 12 recipients of those chairs, just a reminder that you'll receive those at the grad farewell on June 27th at your time that is slotted for you to appear. All recipients of awards, those will be mailed out to you, so you don't need to come to school to pick those up. And really just want to wish you guys all a great summer, stay safe, and we look forward to seeing you soon.